Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and maintenance. Today we're going to talk about, is it really important to lose weight healthily, or do most people care if they're losing weight healthily? Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, which has hundreds of articles and recipes. If you're into podcasting, I have two of them, The Awakened Man, which is very health related. I also have the Cinema Rag, which deals with movies, if you like movies and celebrity gossip. And lastly, I do have books on Amazon, and if you appreciate my content, there's a link for PayPal. So I asked this question kind of rhetorically and jokingly, do people really care if they're losing weight healthily? I would say the large majority of people don't. And look, you could see it most recently with the Ozempic kind of craze, fad, whatever you want to call it, where people are taking the diabetes drug to lose weight. A lot of celebrities are doing it, even though it is linked to a lot of problems. We have a video here on it. And most people don't care. And if you also look at that study that I talked about in a previous video, how 50% of people would rather lose a year off their life and be skinny. 15 to 20% would rather have a special education kid or lose a limb or have a divorce than be fat. And I would say have a divorce is probably a higher number, because there's probably people in marriages like, please, I want to leave my spouse. But you look at these kind of anecdotal things, and then you look at just, I think America's in a collective depression. You just see the amount of obesity right now, the amount of drinking and recreational drug use, and how we just don't dress up, and all these kind of outward signs that would indicate that America is not doing well. I would say that a lot of people are desperate to lose weight and really don't care how they lose it. You look 30 years ago, we had the fen-phen fad, where people were taking this drug, which was essentially uppers mixed with an alleged weight loss chemical, and it ended up hurting people. And so you see people go through fads all the time on how to lose weight. This isn't anything new. I mean, you can look at the Victorian era, where they used to wear the corset tying things to lose weight. And certainly there's people throughout time who have believed snake oil salesmen on how to lose weight. And why is that? I mean, why are we so desperate to lose weight? Well, I don't think this was as prevalent back in 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 300 years ago, when we were just eking by subsistence. I mean, we were barely getting by. We were working all day and just barely eating and so forth. And, part of that is we were so busy and tired that we didn't really have time to graze eat. Also, we didn't have as many calories at our disposal. The typical human at the time, whatever century, didn't have this caloric expenditure that we have now with cheap crap fast food. And so most people weren't overweight. And also, if you were overweight, and let's say there wasn't as much depression because we were so busy meeking out an eager existence, you didn't see a lot of these mental health stuff that you see piling up now, just these kind of like affluenza-esque issues that people have today. It's like when you were eking out a lifestyle or being chased by marauding tribes, you simply just didn't have the time to worry about, oh, I have no friends, oh, I'm anxious, oh, I'm depressed, I have social phobia, oh, I have oppositional defiance disorder, oh, I have OCD. It's not to say they didn't have these things, but I think it's much more prevalent when you have too much time to think. And we know that idle time is the workshop of the devil. Either way, so I think most people just are desperate to lose weight, and they don't care if it's unhealthy. They don't care. We look at bariatric surgery, like on one level, there's science behind bariatric surgery, but look, that's a perfect example. People are willing to cut open themselves, and even it's laparoscopy, but they're willing to cut open themselves and rearrange organs in their body, connect their esophagus and glue it to their intestines to lose weight. And they wouldn't be in that situation had they not had an ordered relationship with food. They wouldn't be in that situation had they not been abused at childhood and therefore turned to food and alcohol to be in the situation that they're in. So people are desperate to lose weight. And I think most people, if you gave them the options, like, here's choice one, magic pill that will help you lose weight, but you might have pretty bad side effects. Option two, work hard, eat better, exercise, sleep better, work on your demons, disassociate emotions from food. And this one is going to take a lot longer. Everyone's going to choose this one. I mean, it's just the way of the world today of the pop-up pill instant gratification culture. So people are wanting to do this. And there's no better example of this. Yeah, you could say Ozempic is an example of this, but there's no better example of this than if you look at psychiatric drugs. How many people are on drugs that knowingly they state in the insert have horrific side effects? Suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation. Look at the SSRIs. It says it there. Sexual dysfunction, anxiety, weight gain, drowsiness, vomiting, drooling, all these things. Some people will just pop the pill because they trust the doctor, but a lot of people will actually hear these side effects. You'll talk to your doctor today on the TV. They're like, are you sad? Are you depressed? And they're like, yeah, I'm sad and depressed. And then they'll hear the commercial, and then they'll hear it rattled off, all these horrific things, seizures, and they still want the pill. So that tells you right there that yes, people are desperate. They'll take anything, quick fix, and they don't think long term. So I understand it. Absolutely. If you would have asked me in 1990, would you take an experimental drug to lose weight? I would have been, sign me up. And then you find out 10 years later, gave you cancer. You'll be like, well, I guess if I got skinny, it's okay. And I think that's the mindset of a lot of people, but that's not the mindset we want. I mean, option 2, yes, it's much harder, but option 2 is healthier. So we have to, as I mentioned in the most important video I ever did here, which was the first video, the number one key to weight loss and weight maintenance, which is harder than weight loss, is to change your paradigm. You got to change the paradigm. And the paradigm has to be quick fixes don't work, fad diets don't work, crash diets don't work. They will work ephemerally, but they don't work long term. And long term is what you want your health to be. What is the point of losing 50 pounds if you've gained it all back in a year and a half? Yeah, you might look great for that wedding dress, but overall, you're still destroying your body. So the short-term fixes, we have to just realize it's like, yeah, these magic pills don't work. We have to do the deep work. But a lot of people just don't want to do it. I get it. You're sad, you're depressed, you've really never had any signs of confidence because you've been beaten down by the obesity. But this is the right way to go. This is really the only successful way to go. Could you biohack it and do a crash diet or a magic pill to drop the weight and then change your diet, change your lifestyle, change the way you see food? It's possible, but let me tell you, that is hard because you're essentially jumping out of a plane with a somewhat assembled parachute and hoping you can figure out how to assemble it while you're flying down. Go to my personal playlist, Reflections of a Weight Loss Warrior. It took me years, if not decades, to figure out how to go from losing the weight to having a normal relationship with food. And during that time, I was calorie in, calorie outing, I was binge eating, starving, all these things. So yeah, you crashing and just be like, okay, now I'm going to figure it out. It could happen. Now I'm going to figure it out, especially if you're crash dieting and going to therapy and you are trying to do the deep work to kind of have an ordered relationship with food. It's possible. But more often than not, it's not, because why do we know? We know the statistic, 80% of people who lose 50 pounds or more regain it. So we know that people typically who crash diet aren't introspecting and retrospecting enough to realize why they are overweight in the first place, to do the deep work, to go to the therapy, to disincentivize or disentangle emotions from food, and so they regain it back. So in closing, guys, I know it's easier said than done, but do option number 2, do the long road, avoid the magic pill, because the magic pill, as always, is too good to be true. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.